Switch over.
Okay. No Discord. All right, I'm going to hit record on my end. Just in case. Where are you?
All right. Sarah, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
a
Justin,
good show,
Rob,
everybody.
Roger.
I am ready.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
good day, Internet.
Hello and good year, Internet.
Good year, Internet. Oh boy, it's only January 2nd. This is DTNS Live for Thursday, January 2nd, 2025 from Studio Animal House. I'm Sarah Lane.
In Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Robb Dunewood.
From deep in the heart of Texas, I'm Justin Robert Young.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
Daily Tech News Show Live is made possible by you listening right now. Thank you, Matt Zaglin, Jeff Wilkes, Pele Glendale, and all the rest of you.
Hey. Happy 2025, everyone, and welcome
Yay.
to DTNS Live. This is the show where we discuss all the news stories that we think matter and hope that you think matter too. Our live audience and patrons are going to help us along on the show. And the Daily Tech News Show that you already know and love isn't going anywhere. Check out your DTNS feeds and Patreon for more. But first, let's peruse the latest news.
That rhymes. Telegram's newest update includes third-party account verification, more message search filters, and NFT gifting features. Verified third parties can now authenticate accounts with a unique logo instead of a blue checkmark to prevent scams and misinformation. Users can also now turn gifts into NFTs using Telegram stars. If you know what that means, then you care. Otherwise, don't worry about it. You also have options for trading those NFTs on various platforms.
NFTs still alive in 2025. Also
Still a
rarely.
thing.
Yeah. Apple agreed to a $95 million settlement to resolve claims that its Siri assistant violated user privacy by recording conversations unintentionally and then sharing them with third parties. The class action covers Siri-enabled devices from September of 2024 through December of last year, with eligible users potentially receiving up to $20 per device. Class action lawsuit. Apple denies wrongdoing, said it didn't do anything wrong, but decided to settle, and the settlement awaits approval from a federal judge.
Asus, Samsung, and MSI announced a new 27-inch 4K OLED gaming monitor. I should say they announced 4K monitors with 240 hertz refresh rates, all featuring Samsung's display's latest QD OLED panel. The Asus ROG Swift OLED PG27 UCDM and the MSI MPG 272 URX QD OLED support DisplayPort 2.1 for uncompressed 4K at 240 hertz. Samsung's Odyssey OLED G8 may also include this feature, and they need to work on those naming conventions.
Oh my gosh.
No, I thought they were
Good work,
catchy.
Good work.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it really
Right.
does.
17 U.S. states, including Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina, now restrict access to major adult websites due to laws requiring stringent age verification to prevent minors from viewing explicit content. Originating with Louisiana's Act 440, these laws impose fines and lawsuits on sites failing to comply. In response, AYLO, A-Y-L-O, the owner of Pornhub and similar sites, has opted to just not deliver their sites in the affected states.
Oh man, during the holidays as well.
What a time. I
Yeah.
know, right?
Grand Theft Auto 6, VI, that's 6, is set for release in fall of this year, 2025. Projected to generate over $3 billion in its first year, including $1 billion in pre-orders, making it one of the biggest entertainment launches in history. You might say, but don't people already like Grand Theft Auto? What's the big deal? Well, the gaming industry has had some challenges as of late. A lot of highly anticipated titles didn't do as well as people thought. And we had some slow growth and a saturated market. GTA 6's anticipated success highlights its position as that big blockbuster franchise that is still going to blow people away. Analysts note that while legacy hits like GTA do thrive, the broader industry is still facing a bit of a slowdown, and we'll see what happens in the coming year. All right, let's talk. Let's talk net neutrality, shall we? Three-judge
What a way to
panel.
begin the new year. Thank you, Sarah.
Well, listen,
Playing the hits. Let's
I
go.
I know what the audience wants, okay?
Yes.
A three-judge panel in the Cincinnati-based 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the FCC lacks the legal authority to reinstate net neutrality rules. The court's decision was influenced by a Supreme Court precedent from June limiting agency power, leaving state neutrality rules intact, but ending federal oversight attempts. FCC Chair Jessica Rosenworcel urged Congress to pass net neutrality legislation. Critics of the rules called for focusing on internet access and innovation instead. All right, so opening it up to the panel. First discussion of 2025. Who's mad? Who's sad? Who's happy about that?
I am surprisingly happy by this. At least some people may be surprised to hear that, because I have been saying for years that the thing I like least is the FCC changing how the internet is governed every time a new administration comes in.
Yes.
And just going back and forth saying, oh, it's more like cable. Oh, no, it's more like telephones, when it's actually neither. And what we need is an actual law to be passed to say, here's how the internet should be governed. It's a little bit like cable. It's a little bit like the telephone, but it's its own thing. Let's have a law. And what the Supreme Court's June decision, Loper Bright, did was give them the ability to say in court, no, FCC, you don't get to decide every time a new administration comes in. It's Congress's job to decide how that happens. So once it's down, it's down in the regulatory agency, and let's have the elected representatives deal with this. Incoming Senate Majority Leader John Thune once put forth a very reasonable internet governing bill. This was back when I was doing Buzz Out Loud at CNET. So who knows if he's still interested or if that could happen again. But I would like to see something that kind of takes everybody's interest into account and creates something reasonable. I know that's never going to happen, but that's what I would like.
I think that you might have it. Yeah,
Go ahead,
sorry, Rob.
Tell me
yeah,
more,
I mean,
Justin.
I think that there might be something. It depends. I mean, you don't really know how the vibes of a Congress are going to shake out until people actually get in there and start voting. But you do have a general sense that the body politic has to get younger. There is really no argument sensibly that the internet is not as important to the United States as steel or concrete in terms of our economy. So laying down basic uncontroversial rules of the road would be popular. The question is, of course, whether or not anybody is going to be able to pass something that important that will be safe and uncontroversial.
Yeah.
I'm with Tom on this one. I like the fact that they are saying that this group, the FCC, you can't make the rules. You have to actually apply a law. The problem I have is that I understand our government. Will they actually be able to come together and decide on anything? I just don't know that I see that coming anytime in the near future. So I wonder if we're going to be in a situation to where, kind of what we are now. Every time the administration changes, new things just tend to happen with net neutrality. I really want the Congress to come in and actually say, here's what the rules are. They vote on them, and then they send that to the president, and the president signs something. That's ultimately where we need to get to. I just don't know how soon we get there.
Well, it depends on the president, as history shows.
Well, I would say it does depend more on the Congress. Like it depends on whether or not somebody in Congress is going to say, I want it to be a part of my year, a substantial part of my year, that I want to get something that is largely not going to get me a lot of donations, except from Tom Merritt, who will pledge $100 to the first person to put their name on a sensible bill. Sorry, I'm speaking for your wallet, Tom. But
No, but you're speaking accurately.
yeah, in general, like, you're not going to go on Fox News, you're not going to go on MSNBC and pound the table and have everybody rapturously cheer your name because you say, we need sensible rules of the road of the internet. Like, but it is good. I do think that it would be a very good legacy play. And for somebody, you know, and again, we are in a historic leadership change. If somebody wants to signal that you are an honest broker, that you are somebody that would be good in leadership positions going forward, maybe it works. And maybe it's somebody that is controversial, but is it tech savvy, that does it to prove that not everything that they do has to be controversial. Maybe somebody who's running for president, maybe somebody who represents the Bronx, maybe somebody who goes by 3 initials, maybe those initials begin with A and end with C.
Hey,
I can't even imagine what you're
see.
I mean, ultimately, I think what's going to end up happening until this, you know, joyous rapture of having federal legislation that encompasses, you'll have what we have now, just a weird patchwork of different state level legislation.
That's a good point. The California law stays. Yeah. Any other state laws stay. So, you know, it's not like net neutrality goes away or internet governance goes away.
It's just going to be a weird patchwork, and, you know, I don't know how some of these companies will address those. Like, you have you could have like California level net neutrality legislation with something that's a lot more loose in another state. Like, you know, does it make sense for them to continue operating across state lines, or do they have some sort of, you know, situation where, we have a panel, or like they've done with automotive, the biggest state gets to set the rules implicitly, right? Just because they have the largest, you know, number of wallets to speak with their dollars.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Rob, I would like to know more about the latest honey influencer scam. Let's talk about it.
This is it's probably going to be bigger than it is now, but not quite 2 weeks ago, a New Zealand-based YouTuber, Megalag, known for his in-depth tech investigations, released a video on December 21st entitled Exposing the Honey Influencer Scam, which details the affiliate practices used by Honey, a popular internet browser extension bought by PayPal back in 2020 for $4 billion with a B dollars. Honey promises to aggregate and apply the best coupon codes for online shoppers with the click of a button when you check out. So basically, what Honey does, like if you're shopping, if you're on a site like Best Buy or Target or Walmart or what have you, you know, pretty much any retailer. What Honey does is when you put your item into your cart, before you hit the checkout button, Honey will pop up and ask you, would you like to see if we can't find you a coupon code that can maybe save you some money? Who doesn't like to save money?
I love saving money.
So you click the button, and if it can find you a coupon code, it'll apply it for you. And then the thing you were going to pay $100 for, maybe now you pay $87.32 for. So it's really cool. But the problem is, and basically what Megalag is claiming is that Honey has defrauded content creators. And when we say content creators, we're talking about thousands of them, and some of them are pretty big. If you think of people like Mr. Beast or Marquez Brownlee or Linus Tech Tips, some of the biggest creators on the internet have been pushing Honey for years. And what Honey is doing is that these people that they pay quite a nice penny to promote their plugin, what Honey is doing is that they actually use something called last click attribution, so that even if they don't find you a coupon code, so let's say that one of your favorite YouTubers gives you a coupon code for XYZ product, and you go and this thing called Honey that they've promoted to you, you use it, and Honey can't find a coupon code, they still will replace the influencer's coupon code with their own, and therefore hijack the affiliate. So the person who did who introduced you to a product, they don't get the affiliate for doing the work. Honey gets it simply because they were just the last person there. And that really kind of sucks. I mean, it's, I've used this platform.
Sucks for a content creator.
It absolutely sucks for content creators.
So if I were like Mr. Beast and I told you to buy this, amazing brand of chili using my Mr. Beast code, and Honey comes in, they would just drop their own whatever chili code.
Even if they don't find a coupon, which is part of it, is that literally you just hitting the button. Even more, if they don't have any coupon codes for the site, but they do take PayPal, if you click in their box, pay with PayPal, even though there's a pay with PayPal button down below, it also replaces with their own last click attribution code. So they use every possible trick available that if you interact with that box at all whatsoever, they are going to take the affiliate on that purchase.
And the reason that can work is you have given that extension approval to modify URLs because that's how they were able to give you the codes. You can't get the coupons that they do find otherwise, but they're taking advantage of that permission you gave them and saying, we'll modify other links as well, as long as we have an affiliate code that we can append to them. As the user aren't hurt. It's the merchants who are.
And for the longest time, I remember we were talking a little bit pre-show, but I was thinking about like how long Honey's been around, and I've never used it. I've thought about using it, but I hate most extensions and browser extensions. But I was thinking like,
okay.
I mean, I try to keep it under like 6 if possible. And I've always wondered like, how do they make money? Are they just doing like, hey, they're doing referrals, so they go to Procter and Gamble. It's like, hey, we're Honey. If you give us, 2% of whatever merchandise people buy because they used, our service to click on your thing, we get a cut. I thought that was how they were like making money, but if this is how they're doing it, it's a different ball of wax.
They're doing both, right? But yeah, this I don't know how much of their money is made for this, but it seems like a chunk.
It's even worse than this, guys, because not only are they jacking the affiliate codes of the very sponsors who they got to promote their service, the other part of this is Honey tells you 9 ways from Sunday, it's going to, as it tells their users, we're going to find the best coupon codes for you. But when you really think about it from a vendor standpoint, from a company standpoint, you don't want everybody on the internet just using coupon codes, even if they didn't know about them, because you're going to ultimately make less money as a brand or as a company that's selling stuff. So what Honey did says, well, let's go to these companies and say, hey, we're gonna tell Earth about all the coupon codes where people can get this stuff cheaply. But if you pay us directly, we won't actually show those coupon codes to our users. So the users that are being promised to get coupon codes to get the cheapest price on the internet for the things they're buying on these online retailers,
necessarily getting.
They're not even getting it because Honey has worked out a deal. Exactly. They've worked out a deal where we're going to not show you. So they're actually harming the end users. Like what would have been a coupon code where they could have saved some money. No, we're not going to allow the user to save money. We're going to make it by getting a percentage that we agree upon up front with the actual brand. And both of these things that Honey is accused of doing is all kind of horrible. I personally have used the Honey browser extension. I promptly uninstalled it earlier this week and I found out about this, but it sucks because I am someone who actually has made a living off of affiliate sales, off of recommending products. And, I've always say, if you buy through my affiliate link, great, that puts a little bit of money in my pocket. If you don't, that's great too. But I never expected that there was a company that I may or may not have actually promoted at some point and said, hey, use this thing. And then what they're going to do for me in return is jack all the affiliate sales that I could be making if I would have never actually mentioned you or if you didn't actually exist. It's just a horrible situation.
And also the companies that are paying Honey to, not give me, the end user, that coupon type thing, it's like, I won't know any better because they're just, that company is not part of the deal. But don't they lose out? I don't get, I don't now associate that company, for example, my favorite grocery store. Do I get the coupon? Do I not get the coupon? I mean, my life won't end. But if I get the coupon, I think of that grocery store more favorably.
Well, no. That's the thing with the affiliates is you will always get a code. And part of the thing that Megalag points out in his video is that he noticed that he was getting a lot of honey 10, honey 20, honey 5, that kind of stuff. What you will not get is if somewhere on the internet they put out a half off or a BOGO or something that theoretically that product would take advantage of for you. You don't get that. You get the one that they want you to get. So yes,
so there might be a 50% off code somewhere, but Honey has a 20% off deal with the merchant. So it's going to give you the 20%.
It's going to give you that and not the other one. So there's two things here. And,
I mean, same issue. Go ahead.
There's two issues. And the internet, especially YouTube, loves to describe everything in the most scandalous terms possible. And in this, I don't know how far off it is, but there are two main issues. Number one, to consumers, honey's a bad product. If you thought honey was a good product, it's indeed a bad product. It's not to say that that concept is bad. It may well be very good. Honey doesn't do what it says that it does. Not to say that it ever guaranteed it to you. And because it was always marketed to the frugal among us, you got what you paid for. It was a free browser and it didn't deliver in the way that it advertised it. The more tantalizing and obviously the more personal from some of these massive YouTube accounts is that there appears to be some kind of great erosion in affiliate marketing money. And what I'm fascinated by to see with this going forward is exactly what that means, because I have been making my living in internet content creation for the better part of my adult life. I know that when I see a reduction in money, my first thought is not there's a villainous thing out there that is soaking up money that otherwise should have been mine. My thought is my content sucks and I need to make better content and I need to make this going forward. So I don't think any of these accounts likely even thought that, okay, well, I'm seeing a 10% reduction, a 20% reduction in affiliate money. There must be a reason. I think they just thought for whatever reason, people aren't using my affiliate codes in the same kind of way and just kind of moved on with life. That being said, I would be very curious to see what Honey brings into PayPal. I do think that that's something that there should be more journalistic heft led into. I think this is a compelling and interesting business and tech story that top-end journalism should be investigating and jumping on top of. This is a good story.
Megalag's video has already been seen 14.5 million times. That was what it was right before we started the show. And the numbers are going up. It's gone up 400,000 just since I looked at it first thing this morning. I would imagine that this is not going anywhere. And the other thing is that Megalag had had an interview with Newsweek where he said that Monday he looked at how many users Honey has. They're down to 17 million. They were 20 million last week. So they lost 3 million. They lost 3 million users in less than a week's time. And I would imagine that after the more people that hear this, that number is going to continually go down, and it should, because what this company is doing may not technically meet the criteria for being illegal, but it is definitely unethical.
Yeah, it's dirty pool. Dirty pool is what I would say.
Listen, being a content creator is that's a very blanket term, right? We've got the top tier content creators that everyone knows. Us, of course. Who's bigger than us?
Obviously.
Yeah.
But at all levels, imagine using Honey thinking, oh, this is gonna, help me out, and realizing it indeed does not help me out. Yeah. Are you gonna sue the company? Maybe not. But that is life on the internet. Being a content creator.
Oh, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, it's just one of those things to where, like I said, I've been doing affiliate marketing since literally the late 90s. And as I said earlier, I always say, if you use this affiliate link, it'll put a little money in my pocket. I really appreciate it. If you don't, if you want to strip that out, great. I never expected, as Justin said, when I'm thinking, man, my affiliate numbers are down. Maybe I need to figure out some new hooks. Maybe I need to figure out, better stories to tell in my content. I never would have thought that a company that I personally haven't actually been sponsored by Honey to put anything out, but I know people who I work with very closely who have. I never would have thought that the company that is actually giving this money to tell our fans about this browser, that before this reporting from Megalag, it seemed like it was great. It's like, wait a minute, I don't even have to know a coupon code. It'll go find one for me and then save me some money, and it costs me nothing. That's kind of awesome. And for them to actually be doing this to their creators, and then on the other side, doing it to their users by saying, hey, we're going to get you the best code. And no, we're going to get you the code that makes us the most money. That's just disingenuous, and it's just slimy. And, this is a story that needed to be reported, but I honestly, I feel icky just talking about it.
There's a whole thing about online coupon codes. And about 5 years ago, I stopped using a lot, especially any kind of targeted ones, either from like Retail Me Not or whatever listings, because they're never up to date. Like I always get the most up to date coupon codes on a Reddit subreddit forum, or just like a forum on sales, or like specific product categories.
Yeah, but that's literally the problem that Honey was purporting to solve. Here's what I think is an interesting question going forward. Honey was notable, and it's also pointed out in this video, that it was a prolific buyer of influencer ads, specifically on YouTube. And not only that, but as Marquise Brownlee pointed out in his video on this, they were among the best clients because they were very permissive as to what the YouTuber wanted to do. I know, watching my friend Brian Brushwood operate his 2 YouTube channels that get pretty big end YouTube ad deals periodically. Sometimes the notes on these ads are annoying, and it's slow, and it's frustrating. It is a hard gig to make sure that you are meeting the expectations of the people that are buying that advertising. Apparently, Honey was not. Honey was like, here's the money, say whatever, as long as you're saying these 4 things, we don't care, sign it off. What I'm curious about going forward is that if it's not some VC pumped up subscription for underwear or toothbrushes or bricks or whatever the next version of that is, and if it's just free, I wonder if YouTubers are not going to take a look at it and say, well, wait a minute, exactly what do you do? Because whether or not you understand the economics of it, you might want to understand the economics of it if you're Marquise Brownlee or Linus Tech Tips, which I'm sure probably make significant money via affiliate marketing.
Right.
You might be the person that they are taking money from.
Well, as we have been going through the show, many of you might want to submit a show title for what you think most encapsulates what we've been talking about, because we're all over the board. If you want to do that, showbot.tv/GTNS2 is where to do it. But we already have a few recommendations, right, Roger?
Yes, we have a great one from Zoe for the first discussion. Justin speaks for Tom's wallet.
He does in that case. Yeah.
That's dangerous, but okay.
And on the honey debate, we have one from Lion Jim Video. Honey money from an influencer's pot.
A lot of honey titles.
Yes.
Yeah, stir in the honey pot. Yeah. Honey pot. Oh, good stuff. So yes, if you want to continue the title discussion, get in there and submit and vote. Thank you in advance. All right, let's talk about a little bit of a shakeup going on at Meta, right, Justin?
Mm-hmm. Semaphore sources say that Meta is replacing its global affairs president, Nick Clegg, with his deputy, Joel Kaplan. Kaplan served as White House deputy of chief of staff under George W. Bush and has been a vocal opponent inside Meta against political speech restrictions, which he sees as ones that overwhelmingly affect conservative viewpoints. The shuffle happens 3 weeks before President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. So,
all right,
folks,
all right, yep.
What are our initial thoughts?
Well, so this is a big story today. I think a knee-jerk reaction from, somebody on a certain political side would say, ooh, is this Meta becoming more Republican? type of thing?
The answer is yes.
Well, but also, is this something that, helps the company and, eventually helps the end user? I think those are all the questions that are up in the air right now.
Yeah, and I think that's right. Like, not even just becoming more Republican, right? But is Meta itself becoming a conservative company, right? And I don't think that's true. What Meta is doing is being self-interested and saying, well, we've got a Republican administration coming in. We have a Republican Senate. We have a Republican Congress. Maybe the center-left former deputy prime minister of the UK is not the right person to lead our policy right now. Now, it is a global policy position. And I think the other thing that's probably undercovered here is that it's a little bit inward looking for Meta to say, you know what, U.S. policy is going to be way more important to us than global policy. Whereas before, I think they picked Clegg because he was international and because they were thinking more globally. They are thinking more domestically with this pick.
When I first saw this story, I went back to this great piece of cinematography that starred Rodney Dangerfield. I believe it was called Back to School.
Oh,
and there was a part of that movie.
Love that.
Part of that movie where he's explaining how business is done and who he has to grease and who he has to pay off and all this kind of stuff to get stuff done, which is actually how he became a multi-billionaire. It did it in real business. And the professors are just so shocked at what he's saying. This kind of looks like that to me. It's like Meta knows, here's the administration. We have to rock with the administration. They can make our life easier. They can make our life harder. So let's put people in place that is going to make our life easier. That's what this looks like to me. And I honestly can't say that I don't expect Meta and other companies to do the same thing. It's like, I think we try to put, we try to put fillings on these companies. And at the end of the day, most companies, there are some that truly are activist companies, but most companies, their goal is to make as much money as they humanly possibly can for their shareholders. That definitely is Meta. And I think that Meta they did the old put the finger in the mouth, put the which way is the wind blowing? Mm-hmm. What is going to make us more palatable to the administration that is incoming so that we can do business as usual and maybe even make more money than we've already made? That's what this looks like to me. And I can't even say that I'm mad at Meta for doing it.
My only counter to that is they certainly went the opposite of that direction the last time that Donald Trump was president and there was a Republican Senate and there was a Republican Congress. That they did not become more friendly to the Republican Party. In fact, the general prevailing winds amongst Silicon Valley and social media in general was that there needed to be a retrenchment to provide a bulwark against what was looked at as an insidious and dangerous wave.
I say that they have data points that told them to do something different this time around.
I would agree with you. And I would say that if the question is Silicon Valley more Republican? Yes, it is more Republican than it was in 2016. You can look at it in the donations. You can look at it in the buzz. You can look at it in the fact that there was a Silicon Valley wing of MAGA that helped elect Donald Trump. There was a fight over the weekend on social media about H-1B visas that was led by, people who helped elect Donald Trump that also like those, which are very darling amongst the Silicon Valley set. That being said, if I can abstract this from politics for a few seconds, I think that what we will likely wind up talking a little bit less about, and if this is an indication of anything beyond whether or not Mark Zuckerberg has become more personally conservative as he has gotten jacked and has now the haircut, the jewelry, and the wardrobe of the Dominican barber, is the idea of misinformation. That's something that we talked a lot about over the last 8 years. And I do think that something happened over the last 4 where we saw some of the disclosures, not only from Facebook, but also from Twitter. You saw Zuckerberg put voice to apologies for some of the decisions that they made in terms of censorship. What I think we're going to see a little bit less of is what I have entitled on this particular franchise, the hashtag hell portal, the hashtag portal to hell, where you are determining what is true and then trying to police truth as opposed to policing things that are out and out illegal.
The portal is closing?
I don't know if the portal will ever close. I think that
The portal is always it'll take you if you want.
I think that we're seeing a little less excitement from Facebook specifically to want to jump into it.
Okay. All right.
In other words, it'll less be proactive and more reactive, you think?
Well, it's at a certain point, people are going to complain that there is information that they find harmful on the internet. This has been in existence from time immemorial, right? Like
At least
that is
started.
Yes, like that is just a thing that always happens. The question is, if you believe that you are of a certain social or societal impact that you have to restrict something, then what is your capacity to restrict it? And you have seen, I think, very uncontroversial cases where certain kinds of messages that are spammed over and over and over again on WhatsApp, for example, are restricted because they were leading to mobs being formed and taking visceral justice on the streets. But does that mean if you tweet or post about Hunter Biden's laptop, should it be taken down? Or let's say something about the Clintons and Vince Foster, to use an opposite side example. I think that appetite is dying down, and people are understanding, or at least these platforms are understanding, that there's not a lot of reward for them in getting more granular with stuff like that.
I mean, I think in some ways it's more reflective what you were saying, not just the platform, but just society evolving to the stage where people don't look at a lot of these outlets with the kind of might be overselling it, but a little overly naive take or understanding of how these work. And I think at some point it's all going to shake out into a less, I don't want to say cynical, but a more like approach that we used to have with TV, where you used to say, don't believe everything you watch, don't believe everything you hear, don't believe anything you read.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What is it? Don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see.
Half of what you see. That's Will Rogers, I think, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, listen. While we were kind of on a holiday break, we had a bunch of shows for you, so hopefully you enjoyed those. And we definitely got a lot of emails. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com is where to send that email if you've got one. But Rob, what did we get?
So George said in response to our annual prediction show, what a cast of characters. I much enjoyed the back and forth between everybody, especially the subtle barbs thrown at all in good fun. The additional weighting system was a splendid idea to compensate for Tom's generous point giving.
Tom's like, I just want to give you a point.
What's wrong with giving points?
Well, points need to be earned, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom was definitely on the 10-point must system.
No, it was good. I mean, prediction show is we always have a good time doing that. Predictions, and then, looking back on predictions. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, Sarah, what were you doing? And sometimes I'm like, no, I knew what I was doing, but I got it wrong. And sometimes I'm right.
And Howard is giving me +1 for generous points. So there you go. See? Points bring more points. Before we get out of here, I want to thank Justin Robert Young for being with us. Justin, what you got going on these days?
Well, you can go ahead and listen to my AI podcast with the great Andrew Main, the first prompt engineer for OpenAI, and that is The Attention Mechanism. We'll be back with new episodes next week, including my review of one of my Christmas gifts, the Meta Ray-Bans.
Oh, very nice.
Fun.
Attention Mechanism is essential listening, folks. I've missed it. I'm glad to hear it's coming back.
It's coming back, yeah.
If you have thoughts about what we do here at the Daily Tech News Show, why, by your commands, send us an email.
By and by.
The email address was what I'm trying to say is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com.
We are gearing up for CES. That is next week. We're going to have some folks on the ground. It's going to be fun. We're going to see all the gadgets. We're going to talk about all the things. But tomorrow we'll be back with a regular DTNS live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. Find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. See you tomorrow.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Wonderful program. And as Zoe Brings Bacon says in our chat, vote now.
Vote now.
Vote now or be
forever
silenced.
Be silenced.
All these titles are great.
Showbot.tv/DTNS2. We got a lot of good ones over on the GDI side. The Dominican Barber.
We don't need a separate GDI title, so put that one in the DTNS one.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
Think about that.
Yeah. I didn't think about that till just this second.
I don't even know what a Dominican barber looks like, but I have a vague notion thanks to Justin.
Oh,
quite a few
Poppy,
of them.
you need to go get cut up by a good Dominican barber.
That doesn't sound like something I want a barber to do. I'd rather cut my hair.
Oh no, dude! You can get your edges, get your fades. You know they'll do. So
I don't think I would look good with a fade. I don't think I have a fade head.
Oh, Poppy,
You
you've
gotta
been
give it a try,
great.
Roger.
You don't say that till you tried.
Yeah. Barbers.
Now that you tried it,
afterwards,
Roger,
if
I don't
you're
think you look so.
I am convinced that good barbers are actually wizards that can just do all sorts of magic with people's hair.
Oh my God, yeah. So several years ago, when my mother was going through chemotherapy, which she is fully recovered from, so we can make this funny. I shaved my head in solidarity, and so
I remember this,
she gave me the heads up that she had shaved her head when I was in Vegas for a convention. And so I just had to find a place to shave my head in Vegas. And so the one place to go was this Dominican barbershop, which was every stereotype that you could possibly imagine.
In Vegas.
In Vegas. So everybody
So
who was
that
flying
and
in.
another. Yeah.
Oh, it just, and so the way that you know a Dominican barbershop is you have a bunch of Dominican barbers, stocky dudes, perfectly coiffed hair, and every stall had a ring light with a camera mount, because not only do they want to cut your hair, they want you to record it so you can post it, so they or they can put it on their Instagram. And he was kind of confused that I just wanted my hair shaved. I didn't want anything else. I just wanted a full head shave. But it is a very specific a specific look. Gold chains, a lot of links.
I went to a barber who had like a lot of
light.
gold chains, but I think he was either Greek or Italian, because it's just because of his last
Those are
name.
different
but-
things.
I know. But what I found interesting is he kept a vacuum at his little station. Like, it's one of those.
You want
Why
to
is
clean
that?
up the hair.
Yeah.
No, he sucked it off my head, like entirely, and he put it in my ear, sucked it out
I've
of my
seen that
ear.
before. Yeah,
And it was like, this is great. I don't have loose.
I've never had a
bits.
barber. My barber is an angel. Literally his name is Angel. But he doesn't use that. I've seen it used, but not by me.
I mean,
Not all of me.
I don't go to a barber shop, but I really like my hairstylist. That's what she likes to be called, my hairstylist, because she's always got a vision for me,
My barber is a Chiefs fan. So I got my haircut on Sunday recently, and he was, of course, in full Chiefs regalia, Chiefs flag up on the wall.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
If I walked in there, I was like, bad vibes. I'm out of here. Yeah.
My barber
The Niners,
is
we'll get you next year.
my barber's a diehard Dallas fan. So twice a year I have to reschedule haircuts because he's either going to a Dallas game somewhere in the vicinity, either playing Indianapolis, Cleveland, Cincinnati, or whatever. And he always goes to one Dallas game in Dallas every single year.
Yeah.
So that messes up. In fact, it just messed up a haircut. About
And Rob,
5
you
weeks
had
ago.
told us a couple of weeks ago that you like to get a haircut once a week.
Every 10 days. Every 10 days. Every 10 days.
I mean, that's
a Martian
regular
week
stuff.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some planet probably has a 10 day.
Some planet is like, it's 10 days a week.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Should we thank folks? Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, LinkedIn. Thank you, Twitch, for watching and listening. We've got people found us. That's one thing to thank you for, because we changed the URL on Twitch. So it's now twitch.tv/Daily Tech News Show, but it looks like all of you made it over here. So that's good. Hey. I'm looking through here to see where should we end with the thanks, because we got all kinds of people following us and resubscribing over the break. I think I'll just thank the big ones. GPEG84 resubscribed at Tier 1 for the 50th month. New John 1998 resubscribed with Prime for the 62nd month. Howard Yermish resubscribed for 12 months at Tier 1. 23rd month total on Twitch. We got a follow from Corey Van Life. Sandayu resubscribed for the 55th month. Technomensch cheered us with bits. Cliff Singer resubscribed for the 25th month. Zoe gave us some bits. Van Roller 72 followed us, and PC Milesy gave us some bits. And Lion Jim Video used some bits to gigantify an emote. Our first gigantifying of an emote of 2025.
I like that.
Thank you, Lion Jim Video. Good to see y'all again. All right, so what are our titles?
All right. Our options are plenty, but they're a lot of money and honey.
A lot of honey in there. Yeah.
Ooh, honey, honey.
At the top, we
hides the
have
money.
Sugar. Okay.
we had Howard Yermish with Honey's Hijinks Hijacks Links. Bit of a tongue twister.
Honey's hijinks hijacks links. That's fun.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
good.
And then we had Saray TWs, which I partially enjoy. The Land of Bilk and Honey.
Bilk. That's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Not So Sweet Honey from Zoe. Barber Wizardry from Saray TW. Honey App Don't Give a D from Fred819.
Oh, I like that.
That's good.
That's
Yeah,
fun. You know,
Honey Hides the Money from JPEG84. You know, the Dominican barber sounds like an opera. I don't know why. Honey Money
Well,
with a
it's
capital.
Mac the Knife to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Honey Money with a
Dominican
capital
barber.
B from Lion Jim Video. Violating the affiliate code. Ooh, I like that one from JPEG84. The Dirty Business of Affiliate Code, JPEG84. Is the portal closing from Zoe? I don't know. I kind of circled around the Land of Bilk and Honey.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
Well-
Saray TW.
Thank you, Saray TW.
And thanks to everybody who submitted and voted.
Indeed. Thanks to you, Sarah, for
Thanks to
thanking
you, Tom.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone.
And I see Roger and Rob and Justin.
It's great. It's great
We
to
hope
see
you
all
all
of
have such a
Yeah.
good day. And we'll
Have
see
a
you
good
on
day.
Rob
Have a
Have a
good
good day. See you
year.
tomorrow.
Have a good one.
Have a good
Happy New Year,
year,
everybody.
everybody.
Yeah. New year,
Only
new you.
360